Welcome back to Ashton Gate. It feels so good saying that with fans here. Another opportunity, and it's onside, and it's two for Bristol City. And this time, and it's in. An early goal for Bristol City, and Andy Vyman is back. And it goes clear header for Bristol City, and they are level. And it's a first goal for Andy King for his boyhood club.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to a very nervous but expectant Ashton Gate for another chapter in this turbulent Sky Bet Championship season. Bristol City taking on Barnsley today, and no better opportunity against a side struggling second from the bottom of the championship table. Here to watch all of it unfold alongside me is professional development league coach, I should say, Ali Hines. Ali, welcome along this afternoon. Pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
For those that don't know, could you explain a little bit about your role within the under-23s and academy setup?
Sure. Obviously a professional development phase coach. We work across all areas from under 18s to 23s, so we work with all the boys in those phases, and yeah, we work hard, we work together, and we make sure we can push players into the first team when they're ready. Some players go on loan, obviously under the leadership of Brian Tinian at the club and Gary Davenport. Yeah, it's a good role and we enjoy it, and hopefully we can get many more players into the first team. Absolutely,
and plenty of those players emerging now within the first team. It's been a tough couple of weeks, to say the least, for Bristol City. Following that defeat at the Hawthorns last weekend, what have been the key areas of focus for Nigel Pearson and his staff this week?
I think the main focus is get back out there, go and get a result, and the players are working really hard, being confident on the ball, hurting them where they need to hurt them massively on their pitch, and going out and getting a performance and a good result today.
Absolutely. And how much today is about the kind of mental side of the game? Obviously Barnsley are a side that are struggling. They've not picked up a point, I don't think, since mid-September. They're on a really poor streak of form at the moment. They haven't won in 12. It's about whether Barnsley or Bristol City, I guess, can hold their nerve this afternoon and not sort of let any early mistakes maybe get them down, and keep that positivity throughout the match.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got to control what we can control as a team. And I think when the support was here today, you know, they can really get us over the line and get the points.
And in terms of shoring things up for Bristol City, obviously Barnsley are going to be a side, I suspect, that want to keep things tight defensively. They've sort of carried on in a similar vein of, in terms of their formation from Valerian Ismail, who was of course in charge last season, new manager as well. What do you think we're expecting from Barnsley this afternoon?
I think they'll be direct again, and they'll be front foot, high intensity with their press, as they were last season. And I think we've got to just be able to deal with that press. So we play through it, we play around it, we play over it, and be on the front foot for us and be calm in possession.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the side then that will be hopefully trying to keep a handle on that press. We'll start though with Barnsley. Let's look at the side named by Marcus Schopp. He makes 4 changes, a big boost in their back three. Anderson is returning today. He's a big figure, as I said, as part of that back three. He returns for Toby Sibic. Left midfielder Callum Stiles is omitted for Jordan Williams. But the main changes come up top with former Anderlecht striker Asika and former Man City youngster Devante Cole coming in. And then on the bench, a big boost for the Tykes. Ramal Palmer returns to the matchday squad as well. So a few threats in that Barnsley 11 that Bristol City will have to look out for today. As for the home side, well, Nigel Pearson makes 2 changes. Nathan Baker, following that injury last weekend, he misses out and he's replaced by Tyreek Backinson. So I suspect more of a midfield 3 today. The other change sees Jada Silva drop to the bench. Cam Pring comes in for him. Hanno Masengo starts in midfield, and we have that attacking trio again of Vyman, Naki Wells and Chris Martin. But the great news, I have to say, and particularly apt given you're here, Ali, as well, is that Eamon Benarous is involved in the matchday squad for the first time today as well. Callum O'Dowda and Sam Bell also returning to the bench. So it's time to hear from the man that picked the side this afternoon. It's Nigel Pearson with Robbins TV.
So Nigel, Matty James in the week talked about getting on the front foot and being fired up. Is that what's needed today?
Yeah, we need to show our fans that last week's game was out of character. We need to you know, something's got to give here, and we've got to make it happen. So we're not. There's no point looking for anybody else apart from ourselves to go out there and make things happen. And it's really important that players deliver, we deliver, that they do it for themselves, but more importantly for our long-suffering fans who have stuck behind us. But I know that it's teetering somewhat because of recent games, and I fully understand that. So really, it's about trying to get over the line with the first home win, and then look, if we do that, I'm sure many more will come. And it's a problem that's built for a long time, and we've got to put it right today.
2 changes: Tyreek Backinson, who we haven't seen a huge amount of, and Cam Pring. Tyreek in particular, what are you looking for from him?
Well, one of Tyreek's main strengths is his ability on the ball. He proved last year that he's got goals as well. So he was our, I think, 3rd highest goal scorer last year, which says something about what happened last year. Important that when players are out of the starting lineup or out of the squad, when they get the chance, it's about taking it. So he's got the ability to make things happen, and he had a number of starts last year in the side, but now he's got to show that maturity too. And games with pressure, I think, find out who can handle it.
You've given an opportunity to Eamon Benarouz. He has travelled with the squad in the past. Important day for him, for an 18-year-old to be in the matchday squad.
He's there on merit. He's very close to being in the starting 11. But I also feel that it's probably a bit unfair on him to have that added pressure and expectation when we're looking for our first win. But listen, I've got no qualms about using him. He is one exciting player, and if he gets in the side, he'll be very difficult to dislodge, I can tell you.
Go well today, Nigel.
Cheers.
One very exciting player, Eamon Benarouz, in the matchday squad today, and you're somebody that's been involved in his evolution as a player as well. Big words there from Nigel Pearson about how promising he is as a player.
Sure.
What can we expect if he gets on the pitch today?
He's an exciting player. He can dribble the ball. He can cause all sorts of problems to defenders. He can play wide left, play wide right. He can play in a 10. Very versatile. He's got great balance. He can go both ways. He's now got end product to his game, which he's worked on really hard, to be fair to him. Real exciting prospect, and hopefully he continues to kick on and develop.
And of course that hat-trick, which a lot of Bristol City fans will have seen on Twitter and doing the rounds on social media against Watford just a couple of weeks ago. Really exciting for him today, and another opportunity as well for Tyreek Backinson coming back in to the starting 11. He's a player that I guess Nigel Pearson has used in a few different roles, in more of an advanced role as well, getting into the box. Where do you see him fitting in today for Bristol City?
I think Tyreek will keep things going forwards. I think he'll play forwards, he'll look forwards. I think he'll break play up as well, and he's an important piece of the jigsaw for today's performance.
And Nathan Baker missing out today. Cam Pring comes in for him. That's a big blow for Bristol City. Agreed reduced terms in the summer, and Nigel Pearson speaks really fondly of Nathan Baker as well. He's, I guess, a gentle giant, I've heard him say in interviews, but that's a big blow as well. Yeah,
I think Bakes has been really good this season. Obviously, the way he plays, he's going to pick up niggles and injuries. But yeah, he's a big miss to the side today, but I'm sure the players going back in today will do their job.
Thank you, Ali. Plenty to be optimistic about today. Now it's time to hear from Naki Wells, who reveals all about his terrifying teammates this Halloween weekend.
Right, Naki, the City squad are in a horror film, and like in every horror film, there are certain tropes and things that are going to happen. There is a killer on the loose. What we want you to do is help us get through that horror film by just letting us know a bit more about your City teammates. So, Firstly, who's the first one to be caught? Who doesn't stand a chance in this sort of situation?
That's a good one. I want to say Jay De Silva. I want to say he gets caught first.
Why Jay?
I don't know. He tries to be tough. But like I tell him every day, I think he's a bit too gentle, and I think he's the first one to go down.
So Jay's the first one to go down.
Yep.
As in every horror film, there's a maze. Who's likely to get lost in the maze?
Lost? Maybe Joe.
Joe Williams?
Maybe Joe Williams, yeah.
No sense of direction?
Yeah, it's just, he's a bit thick, so at times he could probably backtrack on where he's going. So I'll probably have to go with Joe.
That's fair enough. Who is the jumpiest? Scared of their own shadow?
I'm trying to think of somebody gentle. I might have to go with Callum.
Callum O'Dowda?
Yeah, I might have to go with Callum.
Really? I was thinking, because we can include the staff in this as well. Scotty Murray, he's a bit jumpy sometimes. We've seen that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good shout, you know, Scotty.
Scotty or Callum, I think we can
Both.
put on that.
Both, yeah.
Who dies a hero's death by protecting everybody else and making sure they get free?
Kingy.
Really?
Yeah. I think he'll look out for everybody. He'll try to use his experience, and he'll just probably go down looking out for everybody else. That sums up Kingy.
Who's the quickest? Runs away from the killer first?
Well, there's a few people that are rapid. I'll put myself in that category. I'm not getting caught. There's no way I'm getting caught. I'm seeing too many horror films to get caught lacking. So who is definitely getting away, you say? I'd say myself.
Nice. Good answer. Obviously, as it's a horror film, the group gets split up. Who isn't lasting 5 minutes on their own?
Who isn't lasting 5 minutes? I'd probably, like I said, I might have to throw Joe in there, because, like I said, he's not the smartest, and he could put himself into danger just from being thick. So yeah, you see people in horror films that you're thinking, how did you get yourself in that situation? And I immediately think of Joe.
Nice.
So I'd have to say Joe.
Joe Williams. 2 answers for Joe. Unlucky Joe. Who's the last man standing?
Antoine.
Straight in.
Just because he's like a freak strong lad. He's quick. He's not the brightest, but he's the type to just take out the killer. Yeah, you just run right through him.
Antoine, last man standing.
He's gonna smash whoever it is.
Excellent. And finally, just like in every Scooby-Doo episode, who was revealed to be the bad guy all along?
The Gaffer. The Gaffer. I don't know. The Gaffer's a good shout.
Naki Wells is the most laid-back guy in football. We had him for a pre-season game, and he started eating an apple midway through commentary. But there we go. He's a great character to have around, nonetheless.
Yeah, fantastic, and a very good football. He played for us in the 23s game. I think he scored 4 goals that day. So, yeah, he's lethal in front of goal. Good finisher, great runs. Laid-back character off it, but when he's on the pitch, he'll make things happen, definitely.
Well, thank you, Ali. Hopefully he can build on that goal away at QPR. We're just under 15 minutes away from kick-off now. Plenty more to come after this short break.
We heard the UK's yoghurt-loving superfans wanted something super thick and homegrown. A yoghurt that's high in protein, low in fat, and naturally low in sugar. Fit for breakfast, lunch, and everything in between. But such a thing didn't exist. So we made our own. Yo Valley Super Thick, lovingly made on home soil.
Paul Archer here from the Nexus Group. Hopefully by now you recognise our logo on the back of the lad's shorts. As a City fan and a Bristol businessman, I want to help as many companies as I can with their recruitment needs, especially as we come out of this awful pandemic and lockdown. And for any customer, new or old, that puts an order in with us before now and the beginning of next season, we'll put you in a draw to win a VIP matchday experience as guests of me and the Nexus team.
Welcome back to Robins TV. 15 minutes to go until kick-off. The atmosphere is building inside Ashton Gate. It was Black History Month this October, and it was marked by Bristol City by inviting pupils from 6 different schools across Bristol for a Q&A session with Zach Viner and Derek Bonsu.
Called the Black History Month.
Welcome everybody to our Black History Month celebration. On our top table, so on my right here, Zach Viner, Bristol City first team player. And on my left, we've got Derek Bonsu, who's the head of strengthening and conditioning for the football club. How important were black role models, both in sport and outside of sport?
Yeah, massive. I think for me, if we're talking of role models, I think mine would be Maria Ferdinand. He was born in the same area I was born, and it's someone like Del was saying, he's doing things that you look at on the TV and you go, oh well, if he's doing it, maybe I can do it, you know. And it's something that just might inspire 1 or 2 people, even if it is just 1 or 2 people. Then that's kind of doing the job that he needs to do, you know. You grew up in a corner of East London. What in particular about Les Ferdinand and Ian Wright that inspired you?
Yeah, like I say, I grew up in West London, and it was just a thing of actually like men who look like myself, playing a sport in front of thousands, which is something that I wish I had the ability to do, but I'm not one of them guys. But yeah, actually it just made me think, well, those guys, like week in, week out, they're breaking ceilings at a time where, you know, like, yeah, they're on the TV every week, and it's actually something for me to aspire, actually, whatever it is that I'm doing or whatever, you know, job, or I can break those ceilings, I can achieve things as well. Like those guys are, yeah, they're heroes of the time. Like we were saying earlier, like Les Ferdinand was one of the first strikers in the Premiership to score back-to-back. Like hat-tricks are something that is down in the record books and achievable for, you know, for even Zach to break records.
We've got some questions, so thank you so much for submitting them. I'm going to start with Leyland. You've got a question about...
Do you think things have changed for the better?
I know when we talk about like changes, I think one change which I have seen, which is positive, I think it's great that we've seen like young black men like yourself, Zach. You know, we've seen Raheem Sterling, or we've seen Marcus Rashford actually be brave enough to talk about it, and actually talk about the challenges that we have. Whereas maybe growing up, it was a bit of a taboo subject to talk about. It still is, like pretty much now, but actually we're seeing young black and brown men and women actually say, actually enough is enough.
It's not acceptable. Yeah.
And actually sharing their experiences, sharing their challenges, but also actually we're hearing just about their stories of like not just the painful stuff, but actually hearing their stories about where they've got to where they're now. Yeah,
definitely.
Zach Viner and Derek Bonsu there with pupils from 6 different schools around Bristol. Now, Ali, I just want to talk to you a little bit about, I guess, your relationship with Nigel Pearson. There's been a bit of a reshuffle in the coaching setup as well. He seems to culturally have had a really positive impact since he's arrived.
Yeah, massively. You know, he's always across in the academy building, asking about players, asking about staff. Always says his side of the office is always open. So, yeah, it's very much a case. The gaffer is the gaffer. He's in charge, but he's very open and very honest with everything, which is great to have.
And a man you know very well has been involved much more with the first team setup as well, Alex Ball. Yeah. Very little people actually know that he did once play for Bristol City against Bristol Rovers. You're shrugging there, though.
Yeah, he did. That's his claim to fame. But no, Bally, he's a fantastic coach, fantastic human being, and I'm sure he's really pleased to see him on the touchline today, which is really good for him.
Absolutely. And what will his role be alongside Curtis Fleming and Nigel Pearson? Obviously, it's great for the younger players that have come up from the 23s because they already have that relationship.
I think he's a great link for the younger players as well, but also the senior players know him well as well. So obviously he was up there in pre-season, so I think his information, his detail and his coaching is good, his personality fits really well. So I'm sure with the gaffer and Curtis, it'll work really well.
We've already had a mention for Tins, who stepped up to his new role within the academy setup. One player that's come through that system, and we spoke a bit before coming on air here about Cam Pring. He's had so many loan spells. Have you been impressed with the way he's come on this season?
Massively. I think we always knew that Cam was a good player. He probably needed to go on loan and get his experiences of playing at a lot of clubs. I think he's 8 in total that he played at, and kick on from there really, and he's definitely developed as a footballer but also as a person as well, going out there into the men's environment, and hopefully he continues to impress. And
plenty of players up and down the country out on loan at the moment as well. Joe Lowe, for example, these players are getting valuable experience. Josh Hours out at Bar City, and Riley Towner as well is having a formidable time with Grimsby.
Yeah, I think it's important. There's a few that obviously can go from 23s into the first team, but also there's some that need to go out and get exposure and experience, and I think the benefit of both, definitely. The loans program is huge, and it's definitely worth its weight in gold really.
And for Bristol City today, I guess there'll be a few nervous players out there, fans in the stands as well. How do they approach this game? Is it a fast start? Because I think a lot of people online particularly have sort of suggested, well, we go one ahead, like for example with the Forest game, but we don't sort of then go for the throat and try and add a second or a third. How do you think Nigel Pearson and his players will approach this?
I think the manager will go same again, front foot. Can we win it back high up? Can we be creative? Can we exploit their weaknesses? And can we make the crowd get off their seats, whether that's with big tackles, whether that's with goals. Obviously that's what we want, is the main thing, and keep a clean sheet. And make sure we're tight and organised, and I'm sure with what the gaffer's done this week, it'll all come through this today.
And that front three, we haven't really seen them gelling to the levels that perhaps we hope, but individually they're all fantastic players. Chris Martin, you look at, I guess he's a player for me that I think doesn't get enough credit. He does so much off the ball, and then he only needs that one opportunity, like against Peterborough, and he puts it away.
And I think forward players like that, they need the ball to go in the back of the net, and they're off and running. So with Chris, like you said earlier, his work off the ball's very good. His work on the ball's good as well. He'll flick it on, he'll hold it up, he'll bring players into the game, and we just need the ball to bounce kindly in their box, and we'll go and score.
And a player that's really come on this season since joining in the summer, and he's made the step up as well, Rob Atkinson. Made a mistake a couple of weeks ago, but he seems so calm, and he has that kind of Adam Webster quality that when he moved on we were lacking. Yeah, definitely. We've seen Rob in possession of the ball, stepping in and asking questions of their midfield. Sometimes he goes all the way and gets on the end of stuff and takes shots. But yeah, Rob, first of all, he's got to defend, and he does that well. And on the ball as well, in possession, he can hurt teams as well by stepping in. Well, thank you, Ali. We're almost ready for kick-off. And now, thank you for those of you that have been watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Unfortunately, our coverage stops there for you. If you are overseas, you can still pick up your matchday pass. Can Bristol City come flying out the traps today and put on a show from the home fans? It's time to find out. Kick-off is just moments away.